All right, let's talk about meditation. For something that's supposed to be so simple, it's somehow become, well, incredibly complicated. So today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. I mean, if you've ever even thought about starting, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That feeling of being just completely overwhelmed. There are literally thousands of apps, dozens of gurus, all these different techniques. Where do you even begin? Yeah, it's so easy to get lost in all of that. So, how about this? Let's make a little deal. Just for the next few minutes, we're going to forget all of it. Seriously, we're just going to focus on one simple starting point. No apps, no jargon, just a direct experience. And this quote, this just gets right to the heart of what we're doing today. You could read 1,000 books about what an apple tastes like, but one single bite, just one moment, that's going to tell you more than all that reading combined. And that's exactly what meditation is like. So instead of just talking about it anymore, let's just do it. Right here, right now. We're going to try a super simple, really brief practice together. Okay, so our guiding principle here is super simple. Experience first, understand later. The goal is not to become some kind of Zen master in the next 2 minutes. Not at all. It's just to get a brief, first-hand little glimpse of what this whole thing is about, even for just a single moment. You ready? Okay, let's give it a try. Wherever you are, just get comfortable. You can close your eyes if that feels right for you. First, let's just listen. Just notice the sounds that are around you, the obvious ones, but also maybe the more subtle ones you don't usually hear. Okay, now let's bring that awareness into your body. Just feel the physical sensations. Maybe the pressure of where you're sitting, the temperature of the air on your skin. Don't try to change a thing. Just notice what's there. And finally, just bring your attention to your breath. Feel that gentle rise and fall of your chest or your belly, or maybe the feeling of the air as it moves in and out of your nostrils. Just rest your attention right there for a few more moments. Okay, you can open your eyes whenever you're ready. So, how was that? Did you notice your mind just wandering off? Maybe thinking about your to-do list or what you're going to have for dinner, or replaying a conversation from yesterday? If it did, that's fantastic. Seriously, that is perfectly normal. In fact, that wandering mind is exactly what we're here to talk about. So what was that all about, that wandering mind? Well, to make sense of it, let's try a metaphor. I want you to think of your mind as a busy train station. This brings us to a really, really powerful distinction. Think about it. There's a huge difference between passively hearing a sound in the background and actively listening to it, right? Same thing goes for our thoughts. There is a world of difference between simply noticing that a thought has popped into your head and actively grabbing onto that thought, analyzing it, and letting it carry you away. And this is where the thought train idea comes in. Your thoughts are like these trains that are constantly arriving at the station of your mind. And most of the time, without even realizing it, we're just habitual passengers. That thought about dinner that popped up a minute ago, yep, that was a train. And we unconsciously just jumped on board and let it take us for a ride. And this right here, this is the real goal of the whole practice. It's not about emptying the station. It's not about stopping the trains from coming. That's impossible. Meditation is simply the trainable skill of staying on the platform, of choosing not to board every single train that pulls in. You just notice it, maybe give it a little wave, and you let it pass on by. Okay, so that's the practice, right? Watching the trains go by. Simple enough, but why do it? Why is this simple little skill of observation so incredibly powerful? Well, because it's not just about feeling calm for a few minutes. It's what a lot of people call the ultimate meta skill. Over 80%. What if I told you that more than 80%, 80 of the world's most successful, highest achieving people have one specific daily habit in common? Well, the answer comes from productivity guru Tim Ferriss. After he interviewed hundreds of world-class performers, we're talking billionaires, elite athletes, you name it, he found that the single most consistent pattern, shared by over 80% of them, was some form of a daily meditation practice. So Ferriss calls meditation a meta skill. And what is that? A meta skill is basically a foundational ability that makes everything else you do better. By practicing how to focus when the stakes are low,
just sitting quietly for a couple minutes, you get so much better at focusing when the stakes are really high. And the downstream benefits of just this one skill are, well, they're incredible. It naturally sharpens your focus and your productivity. It helps you regulate your emotions instead of letting them run the show. It builds this really deep self-awareness. And it can even improve the warmth of your relationships, which, by the way, some studies say is the single biggest predictor of our long-term health and happiness. Pretty amazing, right? So we'll leave you with this one last thought. You can't stop the trains from arriving. That's just what minds do. They think. But what if you could learn how to just stand on the platform and consciously choose which train you want to board? That choice, that tiny little gap of awareness, that is where all the power is.